The Florida Panthers throw mud all game against Edmonton, and that's all she wrote. 6-1. Florida plays their game at home. Edmonton falls into the Florida trap and is completely neutralized and unable to respond. Edmonton's goalie falls apart due to the onslaught of pressure and high percentage scoring chances from Florida. Florida's goaltender stands on his head. Bobrovsky makes an impressive, absolutely impressive 32 saves in this game to keep his team into it. There are penalties all over. There's brouhahas. There's line brawls. There's Sam Bennett. There's Brad Marchand. There's Matthew Tkachuk, who can barely get up and down the ice at this point in time, but is still effective for this team in his own way. There's Ekblad. There's Barkov. There's Bouchard throwing 2-foot slashes all over the ice and not getting called for it. He is the master of the slash. But the long story short was Edmonton flew a long way to go to Florida. The weather changes. You get 2 days off. That rink is so much more humid than anything you will experience in Edmonton. Edmonton can get hot as well, too, in the summer. Humidity, not so much. A little bit more of a dry province, especially compared to Florida. You get onto that ice, and I think this is the story of the game. Edmonton is ready to respond into a battle. The first 2 games were an absolute war, and they want to set the tone. And let me tell you right now, the referees were having none of it. This is not me blaming the referees for anything. I refuse to do that. I think it's just lazy reporting. And I'm not a fan of either team. I'm a fan of great hockey. You're going to see it as I break down this game. But the first penalty that goes against Evander Kane, you heard me say how good Evander Kane was and how important he was at setting the tone early for the Edmonton Oilers. Well, he tries to do it, and at the 5-minute mark, he cross-checks Forsling in front of the net to get himself a little bit of space, and the ref's arm goes up. Shocked. Not shocked because it's a bad call. It isn't. It's a cross-check. That's the rules. I'm shocked because in the playoffs, that has yet to be a call when it's the first one. You hear me say it all the time, get them before they get you. And if you're going to cross-check, do it in front of the net and be the first guy to cross-check. So Kane lives by that mantra, and the referee sets the tone immediately at that time, and that tone was set for the rest of the game. Me and a coach of mine, we were watching this game together, and as soon as it happened, we looked at each other and we went, uh-oh, that's the tone they're going to set for this game in Game 3 of the playoffs, and they held to that standard. You see, when you're sitting around watching this with other coaches, you start looking at things a little differently. You don't look at it as a weak call. You look at it as the explainer for what to expect for the rest of the game. Because as soon as a precedent is set, it is very hard for a referee to get away from it. Hockey is not consistent game to game or even year to year, but hockey is usually, for the most part, consistent within the game. And once that standard is set, the coach has to tell his team, this is set. They're not going to let us play between the whistles right now. They are looking for the first one, and they are looking for the aggressor. We're going to have to adjust our game. Chris Nobla, I don't know if he told his team that. He might have. But sometimes when you have stallions and horses, it is hard to put them back in the stable. And a guy like Kane lives for this type of stuff. He lives to play on the line, and the referee said instantaneously, for the rest of the game, no one will be playing on the line. Now, that doesn't mean you can point out a billion different calls that weren't called. That doesn't mean everything's going to get called. That doesn't mean that, one team's better than the other. It means that when that standard of cross-check is set, they're going to hold it. They're going to look for the first one. They're going to look for the violent one. You got to walk away from it. Think of the penalty on Matthias Janmark as well, too. A little bit of a wrestling match, gets up, punches him in the back of the head. Many times in the playoffs, that'll be let go. It's an inconsequential play. Nope, 2 minutes. There were 14 calls against Edmonton, and the brilliance of this is, Florida fans, I'm talking a lot about Edmonton. Your turn now. This is Florida's game. They are masters of psychological warfare. They are masters of getting under your skin. And Paul Maurice is the best coach in the NHL at pushing buttons for his team, getting his team to push the other buttons, and then walking away with charm, wit, and a smile going, who, me? No way we would ever do that. We would never bait you into playing a game like this. We would never run you when you're not looking. We would never slash you behind the play. Never us, never before. Tongue in cheek. They are unbelievable at it. And it was that by the Florida Panthers. That's the Panthers game that allows the Panthers to get out there. They are fast. They are big. They are nasty. And they have a complete team. Edmonton has a complete team as well, but they are driven by the big three. Florida knows this. Everybody knows this. If you don't know this by now, I'm sorry, but you're just not watching. The team of the Florida Panthers, the three lines, specifically the Lundell and Marchand line, so critical to this team. They match up so aggressively against anyone in the NHL and against the Oilers. All three of their first lines can take away one of the big three, Bouchard, Draisaitl, and McDavid, at any point in time. And because they gave them zero space, zero room to breathe, and every time Edmonton started it or retaliated, they walked away or baited them into it more. And every time Florida went to the box, they took an Edmonton player with them. Even if they took a penalty, they made sure to get under their skin to the point where guys like Walman were so out of control, and I don't blame them, that they just took another penalty. And that is the beauty of Florida hockey. They're not really ever upset. Edmonton is furious. You can see it after the whistle. I bet the fans were too. You let me know down below in the comments. But the Florida Panthers, they're laughing and skating away because it's all part of the plan. It's all part of their game plan. Now, the other thing Florida did tonight that you're going to see in the clips coming up, they stood up McDavid and Draisaitl at the line. They are done. It is over there. They are not going to let these guys pressure them at their own blue line anymore. McDavid's zone entry has been killing the Panthers in the first two games, and Aaron Ekblad stepped up and absolutely exploded McDavid today with a massive hit. McDavid left for a second. You knew he was coming back. He's always coming back. Draisaitl, same thing. Every opportunity they can to hit the big man, they hit him. Bouchard, same deal. No space, no time, hit everything that moves, gap up. This is what they did to the Carolina Hurricanes. Doesn't mean the series is going to go that way. It just means Florida is getting to play their game. And by taking away time and space in the neutral zone from Edmonton, we talked about it in the series preview, you are going to neuter and shut down the Oilers. It is very difficult for Edmonton to play hockey if they do not have time and space in the neutral zone and the ability to push you back at your own blue line, blowing up gap. Florida, on the other hand, they play 5 men up, 5 men down on the strong side. Very hard to stop that by standing up at the blue line, because as soon as you do, there's puck support and another guy to pick it up, and they're in the zone. They also have a tendency to dump the puck into the zone more. They like forechecking on dumped pucks. They like forechecking on chipped pucks. Edmonton needs to carry the zone with pressure and control. Florida takes that away tonight, and you take away a lot of opportunities from Edmonton. Every other time Edmonton had an opportunity in their zone, Bobrovsky shut it down. That was it. Brilliant tonight. There were times that Edmonton could change the series. No way, Jose, says Sergei Bobrovsky on the case. Stuart Skinner, look, he's fine. At the end of the day, Skinner gets hot. Skinner gets cold. It was a cold moment for Stuart Skinner. He is still a top 30 goalie in the NHL. There are no bad starting goalies in the NHL. There's just ones that get hot and cold at the right and the wrong time. And the best goalies in the NHL stay hotter for longer. That is really the difference when you're looking at the best 32 in the world. And yes, I said he's in the top 30. Don't worry, my math is not off on that one. So to me, that was the story of this game. They absolutely drug him into it. But here is the benefit if you're an Edmonton Oilers fan, and this is the question the Oilers players are going to have to answer. Next game, throw this one in the garbage. It's done. How are you going to adjust? People tell me Chris Knoblauch is a great coach. Time to see if he can adjust. You have the best players in the world. You haven't had to adjust yet. You continue to use the same strategy, which is carrying the zone, 5-on-5, neutral zone pressure with speed. Florida has taken it away from you now. Unless something changes from Florida in the next game, you can assume this is going to be taken away for the rest of the series. So how are you going to adjust and get around it? How are you going to change your zone entry tactics? Because when I watched Connor McDavid tonight, and he'll be different tomorrow, He looked like a player that was so frustrated with himself and his team that he continued to try to do more himself. And that is a recipe for disaster. McDavid needs to do exactly the right amount for McDavid. What that is varies from game to game, but he is a player that controls the puck and draws the offense to him, then dishes that puck away to puck support where they have numbers and speed, and then he goes and gets open again. But if he is unable to get speed, to get up to speed with a puck because Florida's gapped him away, that whole thing goes away. So Edmonton, can they adjust? Conversely, on the other page for Florida, they have an opportunity to take a stranglehold on this series. You've completely gotten in the head of the Edmonton Oilers players. You got into it with brawls, you got into it with slashes, with hacks. How are you going to get them off their game? When Evan Bouchard is spending more time slashing than he is playing, and he is one of the low-key best slashers in the game. I mean, that penalty that came against Kane where he got booted from the game, Bouchard absolutely took out. Just fantastic. Takes out Tkachuk. Nobody feels bad for Tkachuk, not even Tkachuk. Kane comes by, taps him in the face, but nobody looks at Bouchard on that one. I thought it was hilarious. As Lundell is coming across his crease, Bouchard, bang, two-hand right across the hands into the pants. Nobody bats an eyelash at this one. So he is phenomenal at it. He's right up there with Neil Pionk as one of the best low-key dirty guys in the league. You love seeing it, but he's got to get away from this right now and just start worrying about moving pucks and playing hockey, because that's the criticality of him. Watching Walman punch Tkachuk in the head tonight, I mean, that says everything. It was like a mafia mugging. One guy's holding him like a WWE match. They're in there punching him. This is what Tkachuk's looking for. He can't skate at this point in time. So this is how he's contributing to his team. He is finding ways to stay out of it. Notice he didn't get ejected or a 10-minute. He's just dragging guys into the mud, getting them to take penalties and walking away. I mean, even to the point where Walman's squirting water across the bench. Gamesmanship. So Florida is living rent-free in Edmonton's head. They've taken away the time. They've taken away the space and the gap. So in game 4, will Florida be able to do it again? Because if they do, a 3-1 series lead is punishing to come back from. But you can never count out the Oilers. Not until they're dead, especially after we saw what happened last year. That's why they made him a 7-game series. A lot more to talk about. Let's go ahead and let's get to some clips. So right away, early in the game, that puck comes out to Bouchard at the point, and it's a sneaky little shot. But here is why he was so good tonight. There's no rebound. There's Corey Perry in front of the net digging, because Corey Perry digs in front of the net, but there's nothing. Bobrovsky takes it away. And then here's one of the first examples. Connor McDavid here with speed, like I was talking about. Normally what he does is pick up this puck from a guy like Nugent Hopkins, who's battling on the wall here, and he breaks in with speed. But you got to watch two players here. You got to watch Ekblad, who has really stepped up his game now. He had a terrible game 1. Forsling had a terrible game 1 over here. Then he had a fantastic game 2. And now Ekblad has shown up. Big hit here onto Sasha Barkov by Nugent Hopkins to loosen this puck out. McDavid goes to pick it up and then take a look at what happens. Even though it's a little bit of a puck fumble, how many times have we seen McDavid on a spinorama, spin a Rooney and get away from it? Ekblad reaches in, gets a stick in just strong enough to gap up on him. Because frankly, you cannot let this guy get loose. What's the point? If he gets around you near the bottom of the circle or he gets around you at the blue line, you may as well take your chance gapping up and stepping up. Perry goes in, picks up an errant puck, takes a quick shot. It goes wide over to McDavid. Remember what I said last game? Don't miss high and wide. Well, bang, bang, free little breakout. It goes out over the glass. Play done. Really good gap up. We're going to see a lot more examples of that today. And yes, he got a piece. Yes, he reached in. But everybody's only going to get a piece of McDavid. You're very rarely going to get him clean. Ekblad does get him clean later on in the game, but it is so rare. All right, set play here off the draw. We have watched the third line do this set play. I don't know how many times this playoffs. It's called a high-low. Marchand is going to go low. The guy close to the net is going to go high. If it's a tie-up, a 50-50 draw, regardless of what it is going to be a hyper-effective play at getting pucks. We see that draw. It's a quick little tie-up. And you know what? That puck could have gone to Lusteranian. Lundell, that's fine. He wins it. It's a little bit of a smorgasbord, a bit of a battle. And they're out. Draisaitl loses the physical battle here, and how many times do you see Draisaitl lose a physical battle, especially on a draw, especially on a strong side? That's the dot that he wants. I'm telling you, the time and space that has been taken away from these guys in the beating and the extra hockey these top three have played have taken their toll. This is line 3. Like, I get it. Lundell is a good player. You're going to lose draws. But this is one of the best players in the world. One of the strongest men in hockey at center, and he gets bullied by a third line. That says so much about how good Florida is. Lundell's going to carry it behind the net, and Marchand and Listeranian are going to outbattle 3 Florida Panthers. I mean, if you're Edmonton, you have to find this puck. You have 3 down low, you're on the right side of the puck, everything's gone well, and what happens again? I'm telling you, Edmonton was just tired tonight. Lundell makes it to that loose puck. He is able to move it over to the medium slot, or the hash marks, if you will. It's not quite the low slot for Brad Marchand. He takes it off the skate because he's an elite player like that. While he is on one knee, kicks it up to his forehand and puts it back in the empty net. Once again, this is the Draisaitl line. This is the third line. Nice goal. Early in the game too, outmuscled. Yikes. Game changer, line 3. A little bit later on in that period, Florida is going to win the wall battle. This is where Florida is super strong in their own zone. They go ahead, they pick up the puck. It's McDavid on defense. Ekholm has gone ahead and pinched in. This is why defenders are so good, guys. This is the best player in the world. And you know what? They can't do everything. You got to give a lot of credit to defensemen. I don't think people realize how good of a skater all NHL defensemen are, especially an elite one. When the best player in the world gets turned inside out and made to look like a child because he is in the wrong position, and he is. I mean, he's just not a backward skater. He's never practiced this. It's nothing he's going to do. That just says a lot to defensemen here. So they go ahead, they pick it up. It's Verhaeghe, he's gone. And what you end up seeing here is just a beautiful midline drive. So you're going to drive through Bouchard. You're going to drive through the defensive partner here. You're going to go through to the net. Verhaeghe holds, gets it right over to him. I can't believe they didn't put it in. So it was a good save by Skinner. Power play, Bobrovsky being Bobrovsky here. When you're watching a power play, watch the guys without the puck. The guy with the puck doesn't really matter nearly as much as the guy without the puck. The guy with the puck right now behind the net, he's going to look for McDavid. Look at McDavo get open. I cannot believe this is how good, absolutely how good Bobrovsky is. Big save, McDavid in the slot on an amazing angle. Who picks it up? The Nuge. He's been phenomenal up until this series. He just hasn't found the back of the net. I'm not saying Hopkins is bad. I'm just saying what he did against Dallas. He was so critical defensively and offensively. And in the first 3 games, he has been nothing more than okay. He's trying. He just isn't able to get through Florida right now. It feels like he's a little snake bit, and they need this guy. Beautiful save, though, by Bobrovsky. Second goal by Florida. Take a look at Bennett on this power play. Just a monster. Now, everybody on Florida, this is just improv city. You're in a 1-3-1 right now. You got Rodrigues. He's going to move that puck. Terrible pass. He's looking for Bennett as a bumper. There's absolutely no lane there. And there's no jump from Edmonton here. I mean, once you make this play, we're going to go back. Look, bang, right off the skate. Why are we turning? Like, we do stops and starts. When we do big turning swings, we don't get pucks. We don't turn it over on a penalty kill. And why are we waiting? Someone needs to go get this puck. Well, you know who's going to go get this puck? It's going to be Sam Bennett. Bennett says, screw it. I'll take it myself. And now Edmonton's all out of sorts. Anyone's going to take an opportunity to hit Bennett. They move it up to the top here with Verhaeghe. It's just a quick shot on net. But again, I keep telling you, watch the guys not with the puck. Watch Bennett get to the other side of the ice super fast. Like, he's unbelievable here. He goes to every corner. He moves back into a bumper. He picks it up. All right, not a smooth pickup, but he's in the play again. Regroups it right back to the top to Nate Schmidt. Nate Schmidt's going to bumper it right to Evan Rodrigues. They're right back to their 1-3-1, and Bennett's on the far right side. He has gone all the way across the ice. Verhaeghe's going to step in, and Verhaeghe was looking for, you can see he was looking for that line to hit Bennett. He realizes that it's taken away. There's absolutely no shooting lane, so he steps in and absolutely rips one past Skinner. And I'm going to say it right now, $10 million, probably underpaid for how effective this guy is. This team is built on other teams' rejects for the most part. Sam Bennett was no good for Calgary. They move him down to Florida, or at least he signs with Florida. And he's an unbelievable game changer. Conn Smythe favorite if they win, right there with Connor McDavid. Edmonton power play in the second. They get it up to the point. It's a quick little fake shot here. You move it over to Bouchard. Bouchard's going to move it right back to Ekholm. Nope. He fakes it and he carries them over. As soon as Ekholm moved it over to Bouchard down here on the far side, it's what makes Bouchard so dynamic. He moves it over to the middle. Bouchard skates it right to the top, right at that high point. And now he knows he is Corey Perry, and he's taken 3 of the Florida Panthers completely out of position. If Bouchard passes this over to Ekholm, and there's so much power play fun stuff to watch here, if he passes this over to Ekholm, it's just an easy bump out. 1, 2, and 3. So all 3 Florida Panthers get to have their guy up top, the 2 shooters and the point man. But as soon as Bouchard decides to fake this and carry it over, you force all kinds of switches and you force everybody to move this way. And critically, what it does is it's going to free up Corey Perry down below. That's what angle changes do. That's why this guy is such a monster. And as soon as he moves it over, there's nothing you can do because you have to go to the back door. You have an Edmonton Oiler on the back door and you've suckered 3 out of the 4 penalty killers up to the top. So you move this down to Corey Perry, and his hands are just way too good. Bang, in the back of the net. Bouchard's looking like an $11.5 million man, right up there with Rasmus Dahlin. So smart, so offensive. Too bad this really was one of the only bright points I saw from him tonight. But it's okay. He's had a million bright points this entire playoffs, and Game 4 is a new game. Sam Reinhart is going to answer back, though. Barkov, phenomenal play here. I mean, unbelievable work. Quick little battle. Takes Klingberg away. Klingberg doesn't like this. Well, it's going to happen in the playoffs. Klingberg goes to use his hand and push it backwards. Unfortunately, it catches off an errant stick. Verhaeghe is able to pick that up, and it's a little back pass. I mean, they use these back passes all night so effectively. It's a quick 1 stick handle here from Reinhart, and the fact that he's able to beat him short side, unreal release. What a shot. There's almost no room here to shoot. I don't know if tonight was Skinner's fault at all. It was just a shooter shot. Edmonton sure didn't help the goalie in front of him. Beautiful play by Florida. A lot of talk in this game from the Canadian broadcasters about Barkov's plus minus, about Barkov not getting goals. Well, you know what? They're winning. They're up 2-1, and every time I watch Barkov on the ice, he is a difference maker. Stats are never going to transcend this guy's career. He is the new or the next Patrice Bergeron. He does everything so well, and he will be underrated until he is done, just like Bergeron. That's why I use it as the comparison. So Alexander Barkov is not just an offensive powerhouse, but if you had to draft a team tomorrow, I would argue you would probably take him in the top 5 after some of the big obvious guys were gone. That's the McDavids, the McKinnons, and the Draisaitl's. You might even want to take him above one of those guys, and I wouldn't think you're crazy because the 2-way dominance he can contribute to a team as a centerman, as a true number 1 centerman that does everything well, cannot be understated. Here you go. Edmonton trying to step up. Now, this may not be Connor McDavid. This is Draisaitl. This is Podkolzin. I mean, they've got them all mixed up, but we got to watch Sam Bennett. When you want to score goals, blow guys up. You blow guys up, you're going to make opportunities for yourself. This play we have seen 100 times from Edmonton. Leading guy drives, close guy cuts over to the middle. We've seen Connor McDavid do it. We have seen them all do it. And as he cuts across to the middle, Podkolzin does, Bennett with a perfectly timed hit. No head, no elbow, right to the chest. That is how you do it. No jumping, no charging, clean as clean could be. Explodes him. No idea where he is. Pick up your jock, pick up your chicklets. That one's going to hurt for weeks. And Bennett follows it up with a second one. He hits one guy just to go right through him to hit another. And that screws up Draisaitl down low. Draisaitl picks up this puck, and how many times have we seen him make a play up the wall, whether it be carrying it himself, but there's no one to make a play to because Sam Bennett has single-handedly taken out all of his line mates. That's going to allow Nate Schmidt to get in there and win a battle. That's going to allow Sam Bennett's line mate Matthew Tkachuk to come in and lay one more hit. Edmonton's all out of sorts right now. Really nice takeaway here by none other than Lusteranian. And he's going to leave it to Bennett because, of course, he is. He's so fast. He's in. It's a quick little 2-stick handle. It's backhand, forehand, short side, bang. Beautiful goal by Bennett. And I heard him talk about he wishes he had that one back. He being Stuart Skinner. What are you talking about? Too many guys on breakaways go slow, or they take angles, or they do stupid moves. Skate hard, skate fast, push him back into the crease, make it feel like you're going to run through the goalie and put it over your shoulder. It is so simple. I'm not saying I can do it at an NHL level, but Sam Bennett is an elite NHL player. Skate as hard as you can at him, fear of God into him, and it probably is fear of God at this point in time because Sam Bennett has been known to run every goalie. As you back up into your crease, it's 2 quick little moves and you beat him on the forehand. Such an effective move. Anyone in the NHL can do it. This will be it for the night. It's an overload. We go overload to 1-3-1 now. That is the standard in the NHL. So when you see 3 wingers or 3 forwards down low in the corner, this is that overload. All you're doing on an overload is trying to get back into a 1-3-1. So you move it up here. You're going to carry around the top. You can find a bumper play here. You can move it out to the point. You have so many options in an overload offense. They end up holding it. They're setting up for their 1-3-1 now. And all of a sudden, it changes. So you go from an overload, you play pitch and catch here in the corner. Your bumper is taken away. It doesn't exist for a little bit. And as soon as it does, Ekblad sneaks down. He becomes the shooter. And now what do you have? You have a 1-3-1. You go overload into 1-3-1 and it goes into the back of the net. These are so hard to defend. The penalty kill will catch up again. I mean, the 1-3-1 was impossible to defend until it wasn't. Overload was impossible to defend until it wasn't. Now we've combined the overload into the 1-3-1 with a lot of momentum and creativity. Someone will find a way to crack this as well too, and we'll continue on. For now though, super effective. Brouhaha time. Frederick wants Bennett. Bennett doesn't want Frederick. They've already won the game. We end up into the melee brawl. I'm still always confused as to why linesmen try to break guys up, but this is what they do in the modern NHL. I do remember days where they just waited till guys literally punched themselves out. I mean, this can't be good. I understand you're trying to protect players, but really, what are you going to do? I always think you're just getting in the way and allowing a guy to sucker punch either the guy on top or on the bottom. I don't think it's safe for any player, including the linesman, but what do I know? This goes on for an extended period of time where we lay some, 12 to 6 elbows, couple good punches. I really like what I'm seeing. Linesmen are still doing their thing at this point in time. I mean, geez Louise, you're going to make guys punch through you. There isn't enough linesmen to break this up. Like, really, if I'm going to do a job and I'm not going to do either of these jobs in the NHL, I like this guy. I'm just the referee. I'm just watching, absolutely post-turtling it right now, just getting names and numbers, waiting casually. Maybe he's thinking about what he's going to do tonight. Then we have an absolutely beautiful fight between Gadjevic and Nurse. Gadjevic. I know how to say the name. I promise you on this one. Just, it's been a long video. They continue on. Evander Kane wishes he was part of this one. He really just wanted to be in it. You could see it on the bench. And it results in Stuart Skinner being in the net. Not the fight, but the 5th goal. It results in a look from Draisaitl like this. It's been a long time since we've seen this look from anyone on Edmonton. But don't be fooled. The last time we saw a look like this between Draisaitl and McDavid, they went on to not lose for a very long time. And then finally, I don't know why it took me so long to find this clip here, but this was the McDavid Ekblad hit. This is what I mean by stepping him up at the line. We saw the first clip at the beginning where Ekblad got a piece of him. Here he gets the entire thing. And trust me, it kind of looks funny, like, whoa, what's happened? That is the hardest hit that is ever going to occur. Not just because Ekblad made the hit, but because McDavid is so fast. When force meets force, the faster McDavid goes, the harder it hurts when he gets hit. That rattled you. That rattled anybody. And it really rattled McDavid. He left, went to the back, immediately came back. We knew he would come back. But hits like that can completely change the series. If that has any lingering effect, if Florida has any lingering effect from all these hits that they've been laying on Edmonton, yes, Edmonton's got their licks in as well too. But if the big 3, Draisaitl, McDavid, or Bouchard, if they're really feeling it, this could actually be a shorter series than we think. I still think it's going 7. It's just one game. But Draisaitl losing to the third line, and really, I mean, he got pushed around more than I've ever seen him get pushed around in a game. McDavid getting caught. He never gets caught by stuff like that. So Florida has really stepped up. They're playing rat hockey. The end of the game doesn't feel great. I'm sure the fans were pumped. You throw the rats on the ice, but that really just felt like let's wrap it up and go home, boys. So let's wrap it up on this video and go home, and we'll catch you guys on game 4.